asked the Sassman, why are you slapping him? Why are you slapping me? Why calling me names? I don't know what I did. And you guys are here calling me names. What was when the Sassman says, where is the woman you guys kidnapped? At that point, it was as if they poured me a cold ice water. Someone was busy shooting and was threatening me. I said, sir, I don't know what you're talking about. The man said, yes, but they just kidnapped the woman from Tepoctv here. And then brought her to this place that I have come to collect my own share.
Greetings from Tepoctv Studio. Welcome to yet another edition of the Xperience Show. My name is Princess. In case you just joined us for the very first time, this is the particular program whereby we get to bring people up to tell you about their life experiences, to share with you probably the impact those experiences has made in their lives in one way or the other. To some, it's an uplifting testimony that could urge others to move forward, while to some, it's something to look out for. Okay, this particular event happened and these are the measures I can actually take to actually move the other way. Yes, once again, you're very much welcome to Tepoctv, and this is the Xperience Show. Now, on today's edition of the Xperience Show, I have with me one of Tepoctv's finest and also a movie director, and that's no other person but director Ezijoe. It seems like the whole story is making you not to smile because because you're not smiling. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
How are you feeling? Are you excited sharing your story today?
Well, I thought about it many times. I've kept it for so long. So I decided to just come out and then say it out. And I'm also planning to do it as a movie.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, because it's a life story of which a whole lot of persons will learn from it. So I'm just trying to do the both. Okay,
so prior before now, have you shared this experiences with other people, like not on air, but you shared it with other people?
Yeah.
Okay, so how was their reaction when you got to tell them about this story?
They felt emotional and sympathized with me. It's a normal thing.
This one you're smiling, it seems like the story really made you a very tough person, because you're smiling like it actually made you, forget about pain or something like that.
Yeah, it's an experience. And it was also a first time experiencing some certain things that happened within that scenario. It gives me this confidence, and each time I talk about it, I just have to thank God. So it gives me this atmosphere of always saying thank you to God each time I say it, because it was something between life and death.
Wow.
Understand me?
Okay, so we're going to be listening to the story shortly. Like I said, if you're just joining us for the very first time, please sit tight, because hearing the story behind the scene, I felt touched, but I'm a lady and I would not take it the way the male folks would take it. But I hope you actually pick one or two, and we're going to be giving the platform to director Ezijoe to tell us his life experience. Over to you.
Okay, just like you said, my name is Ezijoe. Director is an handle based on what I do as a profession. Okay, the story goes this way. It was late 2016. I was on the 3rd December 2016. I newly got admission into my HND program at Ezijoe State. And I needed to go to Akpaniko, where I did my ND, to do my transcript so I can further my clearance. And before I left Port that day, my director, the first person that taught me how to do movie, he called me and then asked me to come help him do some wedding coverage. So he was videoing and I was taking pictures. And I think I was with him for about 4 hours or so. And it was almost after 3. So I told him I'm about to leave. But while I was about leaving, he said to me that he has this feeling that I shouldn't move to the village today. I should leave it and then travel the next day. But I insisted, because the person I was supposed to go and meet in Ike to stay in his apartment told me he would be traveling on the Sunday morning. So I needed to do everything possible to be in Akwa Ibom State on the Saturday so I can be in Ike on the Sunday morning. So I insisted. I told him I had to go because I've made plans already. He said that he still has a strong feeling that I shouldn't travel that day. So I ignored and then I moved. I ran after 5 because my village is not far from Tepoctv here. So I ran after 5. I was in the village. I called my dad, blessed memory. I called my dad that I'm in the village. He was happy. But the bike man that took me from the park to my compound didn't have transport. Change to give me. So I had to take him to our village square where I got change and then I gave him transport. So while I was coming back, okay, let me just, before I go to this other angle, when I got to my compound, my auntie wasn't around. She was with the house key. So I dropped my box outside my compound before the bike man took me to our village square. So while I was coming, I had to branch my uncle's compound. My uncle saw me and was like, you came to the village? I said, yes. Why? So I explained why I came. And I was like, okay, welcome. Sit down. Let's do food for you so you can eat. I said my box is outside. I need to do everything possible to be in the house so I can secure my box. My uncle said, sit down. You will still go. Sit down. And meanwhile, all these things were just signal where I overlooked. So I told my uncle that my box is outside. So I had to go. My uncle said, okay, no problem. I will come back later. I said, yeah, no problem. So I left. Got into our junction. There is a wide junction. This one goes to my compound. This other side goes to where they say shop. So got into that junction. My spirit mind said, you said when you get to this place, you're going to that shop to buy something that you eat. I overlooked it and I said,
3 different signs.
That my box is still outside. Understand me? And you know, villages. I ignored. And then as I was going, I saw my cousin. The compound is just next to my compound. They were eating coconut. So they called me. I entered. They said, sit down and join us. I said no.
Wow.
And my box is still outside. So it was just as if that box was a center of focus and a center of distraction to me too. So I told them that. They said, sit down. It's just one coconut. Eat before you leave. I said, no, my box is still aside. It's okay, no problem. Now, the funny part is, when I got to my compound, my auntie was still not yet back. My box was still outside. Then I heard the guy that is supposed to take me to IK. I heard their voice in their compound. The compound is just next to my compound. So I left the same box to go to that compound. When I got to the compound, I saw them. They were 3. And they were drinking a whole crate of beer. So I was like, this 3 of you are drinking one crate of beer. What's the celebration for? So the guy told me that, blessed memory to Christian, that Christian said that there's a deal. It's just cleared. So at that point, because I knew the kind of person he is, or he was, at that point, so what came to my mind was like, maybe this guy has sold the father's land and he decided to buy
drinks for others.
So he offered me a seat and I sat down because I wanted to tell him about my movement too. So I sat down. They offered me the beer. When I collected the beer was hot. So I couldn't drink because, like I said, I left Port Harcourt and I only ate in the morning before going for that wedding event. And since that morning time till that 5 after 5, nothing has entered my stomach. So drinking a hot beer would be a problem for me. So I told them I will not take the beer. So I returned the beer to them. I dropped the drink and I started discussing with him. While I was telling him about the movement, these other 2 guys, because they were 3, like I said, the other 2 guys, on going out of the compound is, there's a building at the front of the compound that sheds you seeing the front, outside. So they were going out, and 2 of us were sitting, discussing about the movement. So while these other 2 were going out, they saw a whole full van of federal saxmen coming into the compound. And the 2 of them, they knew what they had done, the deed they did, of which this other person didn't know.
That's the Christian.
No. The Christian was the victim. Let's say the victim was a corporate. Let me say the corporate. This other person that was supposed to take me, his name is Michael.
Okay.
That is supposed to take me to IK. Didn't know about the deal. He only heard there's a deal. So I was discussing with him. Then Christian and Papa, as they were going outside the compound, they saw this van of Hilux, of SAS.
Sassman.
So they ran. You know this kind of I know what I have done and I know what is coming for me. That kind of running for your life.
Yes, that kind of movement.
So where I was seated, I just saw two shadows pass. Boom, boom.
It was like a movie to you.
I seen the way this speed, the acceleration was like you driving a car at 120. Next thing I heard was my name. The guy called my name and said, "Run, no." So before I could just adjust myself on the seat I was, there were magazines, like three double magazines pointed at me and like, if you move. Jeez.
That's you and the Michael.
Yeah.
Michael
me and the Michael, the two of us, as in, if you move, guns were everywhere. I was like, jeez. This deal must be a real deal. So they arrested the two of us and they started hitting the mic. Why? Why they hit him? Because the money that I'm coming to that side. The money that he was with, when he saw the SARS, he dropped the money on the floor. So they suspected him to be one of them. So they start hitting him. So I asked the SARS man, "Why are you slapping him? Why are you slapping me?" The man says, "Shut up, criminal." I said, "Criminal, I don't understand. Why calling me names? I don't know what I did. And you guys are here calling me names." What was when the SARS man says, "Where is the woman you guys kidnapped?"
You for real?
Wow. Kidnap case. At that point, it was as if they poured me a cold ice water. You and I know what kidnap case is in this country. I said, "Kidnap, I don't understand." So he said, "Where is that woman you guys kidnapped?" For like 1 minute that looked like 1 hour, I couldn't say a word.
You explain Tayana.
The SARS man, the name, if I could still remember, the name was Ebuka. That's the man's name, Ebuka. He started pulling triggers and shooting on my legs. Understand me? He was shooting the gun on the ground directly towards my leg. And being a person that has grown up from Diob area and I understand the gunplay and all those kind of things, I didn't have to move my legs. So where I was standing, I stood still. Because if I had maybe do all this jumping while he was, I would probably jump my feet into one of the gunshots. So I just stood still and the man was busy shooting and was threatening me. I said, "Sir, I don't know what you're talking about. I just came from Port Harcourt now to see this person that is taking me to this place. But I'm going to IK tomorrow for my transcript." The man said, "Yes, but they just kidnapped the woman from Port Harcourt here. And then brought her to this place that I have come to collect my own share." I said, "What share? I don't understand." That was when my village people came out. Why the same box
still outside
that prevented me from staying all those places, they asked me, stay. Maybe I would have shifted from that circumstance. But yeah, I was, and the box was still outside. So my people came out and they said that the SARS, they can carry this other person. But as for me, that the Michael, they can carry the Michael, that as for me, that they are not going with me. They said, why? They said, because I can never. See, in this life, it's just good that you're a good person.
Definitely.
So my people were the one fighting for me. I was speechless. This is just me. Innocent me. This is just me. So they tied us that day and brought us back to Port Harcourt. But how did they get to know about this movement? Now let me come to that side of the story. This kidnap case wasn't a kidnap case. It was an adoption.
Okay.
There's a difference between kidnap and being adopted. Now this woman is an Akwa Ibom woman. She's married to a man in Alo. The man is an Alo man in River State here. So according to the story, the Christian came out to tell the village people when they came looking for him. He said the woman's husband sold the land for 4 million naira. And then the wife went to him and asked for her own share. And the man said no. So she decided to call the sister's son they should plan this adoption so that the husband can
Bring
in money for ransom.
by release.
So they planned, and then she came over, and then the phone call went to the husband that she has been kidnapped. Now, this Christian now was called into the business. According to the salesman, they had the bag of the money of the ransom tracked. After they shared this money, Christian insisted that he wants the bag. Bag was just a small fancy bag, and he wants the bag. So they gave him the bag. He took the bag home. That was the bag they tracked all the way from Port Harcourt here down to Akpaniko State to do that arrest. So when they brought us in that night, my dad came the following morning and then saw me. My dad said, "Son, how are you?" I said, "Dad, I'm good." You know, my uncle was there with him. Two of my uncles was with my dad. So they went to the office of the senior salesman. The man is from my state too. Now, this is how God does his own thing. The man said that when this kidnap case came, that he said to them that as he's getting to that scene, anybody there, he will shoot the person. He doesn't want to arrest anybody. He's coming to kill. But that was what he was telling me, my dad, and my uncle. That when they were about leaving, he was dressed. When they were about leaving, he felt a sharp pain on his knee, like they hit him hammer. So he went to buy drugs. On coming back, they had moved. So when I was trying to compare this whole scenario, I was just like, maybe God knew that he's coming to meet an innocent people. And God wanted to use, maybe God also wanted to use that to teach me how to listen to my instinct. Because from that day, I'm telling you, I don't do what my mind says to me. Should do. If my mind says don't do this thing, and I find out that if I do that thing, I always end up being on the wrong side. So I've learned to listen to my instincts since that incident happened. Because this was Port Harcourt, my director said don't go. In the village, my uncle said, stay, let's give you food. I got to the junction. My son says, no, my son says, are you not going to buy food? I said, no. I went to my cousin's place. They said, sit down, let's give you coconut. I have 4 different.
If you had delayed in one part, maybe that scenario would have passed without you knowing.
So I got back to Port Harcourt. Yeah. I was in the cell for 14 days.
Wow.
And they told my dad that my dad should go bring money in bullion van. It was a powerful experience because that was actually my first time being in cell.
They give you food?
No. See, let me tell you, when it comes to the cell aspect, we have GOC and I think second in 2IC.
I've not been there.
Yeah, that's how they call them. That's the chief commander in the cell and the second in command.
Okay.
And here we were the newborn they brought into the cell, and we are supposed to be at the last depot of the cell where they maltreat us. But my kind of person, the GOC saw me and then loved me at once. People were squeezing. If you see, for the first 5 days, we were stuck like crayfish. This one, you sleep like this. This other person slept. As in, they paired us to sleep together. But after the first 5 days, the GOC called me and took me to his place. And I sleep with Sir Mopo, like a VIP. As I was in Sir and I was a VIP. So the person that came with me was still being maltreated, and they took me out of.
That one still stayed after you had gone.
No, my dad paid 2 of us out.
Oh,
yes, and because the people came for him, but there was no money, so my dad had to take care of it. So I was being treated separately in the cell, and everything was so wonderful. But then there was experience. This experience I got is, if you get married to a bad woman in this life, I'm sorry to say this to all women.
Not all, just the some that will be the bad women.
Now, when I'm saying all women, I'm not saying the good ones, the bad ones. If you're a bad woman outside there, change, because your attitude is affecting another person. Now, after this story of her being adopted came out, they went and arrested her. The husband brother that is a SAS man there too said this is not the first time this woman has done this kind of thing. That she came one certain time and then announced that the mother is dead. The family contribute money for her to go embalm the mother in the mortuary. After 2 weeks, the mother came visiting.
She rose. She arose. Jesus Christ stayed 3 days and she stayed 2 weeks.
As in, so the SAS men look at me. They said, I know you're an innocent person.
But you just have to bail you. That's just it.
Yeah, but they have to bail you. So then something came to my mind. And I remember when I was in my year 1 in school, a prof came talking to us, and the man says in cell or prison that there are 3 kinds of person. 1, the victim. 2, those that know nothing about the crime. 3, those they met in the scene. And I was one of those persons.
They
met on the scene. I would have, as in that day, if I'd run, when I saw those,
probably would have shot you dead.
The story would change. I wouldn't be here now saying myself. That's why I said I want to do this as a movie, as a live story. I'm not saying it in details, but when I'm doing the movie, I will do it in details. I'm going to play every part to the understanding of everybody. But this is how it was. They told my dad to bring money in bullion van now, but church prayed.
I wouldn't want to call names, but is it that our God used to carry bullion van?
So church prayed, people prayed, friends prayed, and the case was easy. We were out after 14 days. I came out and, it was a whole lot of experience.
That transcript you were even chasing, it was even waiting for you.
As in, it was after I came out now, I later went to do this transcript and then went to school. But then, since that time, my dear, it's something you don't wish for people to be in, because it was a whole lot. I don't want to go emotional saying it, so that's why I'm jumping a whole lot of things just to summarize the whole thing. But I just want to appreciate my dad. Listen, despite my dad is not my life, but if he's hearing me now,
please,
if he's hearing me, I don't know about every other person. Every other person has the best dad, but I want to say I had the best dad. Listen, I had a father who stood for every time. Every time you call upon him, even when you. So I don't just want to be emotional when I'm talking about my dad, but
I have nothing to say about my dad. Absolutely, I had no experience with my dad because I didn't get to meet him. But I think from your own experience, I would say there are actually good men out there who are worthy fathers. So it's quite a touching story. Because I think I'm avoiding getting emotional. I mean, my glasses are blocking my tears, but they should keep on blocking it. Anyway, yes, this was the story of director Ezijoe. Wow. I really don't know what to say, but what happened to Christian later on? Was he apprehended?
No, the SAS men, when the woman came, when they arrested the woman and they confirmed that what Christian said was true, they didn't kidnap her. She was the one that took herself to be adopted. So they arrested her in place of these other people. So she was the one that paid for the Christian and the rest, because at a point they said before they would talk about my matter that they have to arrest Christian, Papa, and the other person involved before they can talk about my matter. But there's nothing prayer cannot do now. Our church were firing prayers, and that same Sunday, like the Saturday they arrested me, that same Sunday my church, because I take care of technical department, the generator that we were using for service shut down.
Paul and Silas, they prayed.
When they told me they said the gen went off. While they were in church service, the gen went off and they couldn't start the gen. My pastor says, if I was to be in church, that this thing will not happen.
Hallelujah.
So they went on praying. My mother's meeting people, they came praying, and everything the SARS people were saying, everything reduced. It's just this SARS in our lawyer. I think last time I went there with boss and one of my cousins, I showed them that this was where I was for 14 days.
It's not like the story you target 14 days.
Yeah, the movie name is going to be either, I don't want to do it 14 days. I want to do like 14 days in prison or 3rd December. I just want to center it on that particular day. I don't want to mention the kidnap or the adopted scene or the what. I just want to mention it on those particular days. Because those sometimes I used to give testimony every 3rd December. Yeah, every 3rd December, because I would have been a dead man by 3rd December. You know.
Hallelujah, great.
But I'm here.
Wow. If this story is not making you emotional, then I don't know. I don't know what else to say. But I finally, before we call it a wrap, what would you want? They are, like you said, do not marry a bad woman, but say they know the right bad woman for face.
Yeah.
You understand? And this particular event you just said has not just only happened between married women, but amongst children trying to, set out themselves so their parents could actually bring ransom. You understand? They will form their own kidnap so their parents could actually pay some certain amount of money. So looking at how biased the society could be, and if you didn't know the woman, but look at the kind of problems she caused you and Michael and your family, in quotes, and it happened in a way that people began to talk good about you. Now, talking about personality, what kind of personality would you urge the youths of today to have, so that in case things like this could happen? Because I know there's certain cases where they will say, this person, he no go fit do this kind of thing. You understand? And this kind of person, if you do do you understand? So what would you advise the youth to, what kind of personality should they carry that will, I wouldn't want to say will make them vulnerable, but at least will actually bring them out from some certain situation that they are not meant to be in?
Okay, I think I will bring this down to a Nigerian way of saying things. Better character, they need to buy them for market.
At all.
You understand me? It boils down to an individual perspective, or let me say perspective. But the thing is just that if you want to be a good person, you are not being a good person for me. See, the truth be told, we all know what is good and bad, but we choose to do what we want to do. I sum it all why I'm talking to people that life is a choice. I choose to be a good person because, talking about being a good person, I grew up in Dube. This same Dube, the kind of Dube I grew up in. A lot of people now will say I grew up in Dube now. I grew up in Dube when Dube was Dube.
Yes. When you were running Helter Skelter that period.
I went to Dube 1996. Understand me? 1996, that was when I went to Dube with my dad. My parents only had me and my younger brother when we went to Dube. They gave birth to extra 5 kids
in that
Dube. I was only 7 person in total. So I've been in Dube when Dube was fire. We used to run almost every time. Sometimes we don't sleep in our places for 1 month because of fights. But in all of this, I never compromised myself. And also, I thank God for my parents, because my parents understood what life is and the kind of life they want to give to their children.
That's good.
Somehow, it doesn't boil down to the youth alone. It boils down to their parents. If your father or mother is not disciplined, I don't think the child or the children will be disciplined. Because they see what you are doing. I emulated a lot of life through my father's behavior. My father don't have friends, so am I. My mother don't have friends, and I don't intend to get married to somebody that has friends. If I'm getting married today, or I'm courting somebody today, I'm stripping you off your female friends. I'm not joking. If it's it's one of my own terms. I'm stripping you off whatever
when you
you call
stripping
friends.
of, like, they will not have any contact with parents or whatever.
See, what I'm saying is your friends, your female friends can be your friends, but I'm stripping you off your friends. You can be friends with them while you're single, but if you're with me, I will let you understand that I don't have. You know why? Because I'm saving myself from a whole lot of nonsense.
It's not a little bit too rash. You stripping
It's
a
not
woman
rash. My dear, I know what female friends have done to a whole lot of marriages
It
today.
depends on how you want to generalize it, because there are still female friends who have helped save marriages as well.
That's what I'm saying. I said, if you listen to my statement, I said, I'm not stripping you off your female friends. I'm stripping off your female friends. It is in two form. There are friends you know that they have this positive mindset. You want them close to your people.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we talked about, let me just say, when the guys are talking, they say the friends we make today are the connection our children will have tomorrow.
Oh, yes.
So if you find out that the kind of friends she's keeping are those that can bring connection, understand me? You can as well. But you see all this kind
That's
of
what I wanted you to clarify. You needed to be more elaborate.
That's why I said I'm stripping up your female friend, because nowadays, if you're looking at this period or these days, you find it very hard to get female friends that are. So I don't want to even dive into this matter because this is not why I'm here. No, this is not why I'm here. But the female friends of the thing is just, I will talk about that if I'm talking about something, but I'm just saying about the personality.
Okay, that was quite an experience from director Ezijoe. And yes, we're calling it a wrap on today's edition of the Xperience Show. I hope you learned one or two from his story. Just in case you're just joining us for the very first time, we're already calling it a wrap, but that does not mean you're missing out on this episode, because you can actually review it on YouTube at Tepoctv. Yes, please do well to subscribe, like, drop your comments, and share this video. Until we come your way again for another edition, this is a wrap from me, and it's goodbye.